and welcome to Voice Finder. My name is Renee Belinda Cooper, and I'm going to help open up the understanding behind the silence of childhood sexual assault. First, I want to open up the misconception that children will want to tell. Children do not want to tell when somebody violates them. You know, when somebody sexually assaults them, we feel dirty on the inside. You know, and the last thing we want to do is to feel dirty on the outside and have other people see that. There are other combinations or complications that leave us in silence. In my particular case, not only did I not want to feel dirty on the outside and tell that to people and have them look at me like a sexually assaulted person, but also I didn't believe that my family's good help or good intentions of help would have actually helped me. I think they would have made my situation worse. And that's what I want to talk about. I want to talk about the silence. I remained silent and took care of the problem completely on my own because I couldn't let them know to make that worse. And I know that's a confusing thing to do, is go, you know, how would that be making it worse? But the truth of the matter is that I was afraid that if I told my family what had happened, my 3 older brothers would have done what older brothers believe that they should do, and they would have beaten up my rapist. And my youngest brother, who's 2 years older than me, would have went to school and made sure that everybody knew that he got beat up and why. Now, I know that seems like that's a good thing to do, but the problem happens to be is that you're spreading this around school, and other abusive people will take advantage of that. In my research, the statistics that I found were that a female becomes 4 times more likely to be raped by another once she has been raped. 4 times. And in my own personal research, that number is even higher. Mode of trying to figure out what to do. I overheard 2 boys in junior high talking about going to rape a girl, and they were going to rape her because she had just claimed that she had been raped by somebody else, and nobody would ever believe her again. And the sad part is that tends to be true. First of all, almost all children that are raped young, junior high, elementary, probably even most of them that are raped in high school, are almost always raped by another rapist later on. There is some kind of a tell that rapists understand that we do not. And unfortunately, I believe that when it comes to the shame and the silence, abusers understand more than parents do, because parents believe that their children will tell them. My mother adamantly believed that I would tell her. She saw indications that he was crossing the line, but she just thought, well, you know, if it gets out of line, you know, Renee will tell me. And the truth of the matter is I never really considered. Well, first, I didn't want to tell because it's too shameful for me. Add on to that, I didn't want to tell because I think that your reactions and how you handle it are going to make it worse for me. And third and final, our legal system really discourages us proceeding through it. You know, between the combination of, you know, having to give the police report and give every single dirty detail, then we have to have a pelvic exam that is literally raping us again. And then the court. You know, what's going to happen when we get on the witness stand and the defense attorney comes at us? What is their job? Okay, so these are the things that I see that kept me silent. And I'm pretty sure I'm not the only one that has been remaining silent for those reasons. I already felt dirty from the experience and in shock, and if what I thought was true, which was that other rapists would start coming after me and targeting me because I already had a claim of sexual assault against one person, then how is that helping me? How is that helping me if you take care of one rapist, but then put 100 more onto my trail? You know, so I want to open up this opportunity of the silence of it, because too often we don't ask the children, or we don't ask people who have gone through it, what is the best approach when something like that comes up, and parents are able to talk to their kids. You know, one of the big things is that parents think, first of all, children will come right out and tell them, you know, and that is not true. That is almost always never the case. Children do not come right out and tell you. They tell you, but they tell you in physical characteristics or in changes that they have. For example, physical isolation is a really common one. I know for myself, I switched from being outdoors and free and feeling that way to 2.5 years being locked in my room, because in my room was the only safe place to be. You know, I was an extrovert that had to find a way to become an introvert in order to keep me safe. I couldn't tell my family, so my family was not keeping me safe. The cross over the lines that were caught there were not, you know, acted upon. So the solution I had was to get my body out of the equation. And that is not an unusual thing for a child to do. We need to try to keep us safe. And obviously it is our body that is being harmed. So one of the first tells you can have as a parent is that your child has physically isolated themselves. We will tend to be jumpier. You know, when we're in shock, you should be able to feel that also. I don't remember problem, families, parents. This problem really, really does need to be solved. And it can't be solved by the silence. And we are going to remain in the silence as long as society makes us have the shame when we come out of it. And it's an untangle that I am working on. And I don't have all the answers. Please don't in any way, shape, or form think that I'm coming at you saying, you know what, I have the answers here. I have all of the answers. I don't. But I have some understanding, and I have connections that I've made, both from my own experience and by seeing others. And these are the things that I find to be common. I find it to be an extremely common thing for us to remain silent, for us to be ashamed to have been sexually assaulted. Survivors should not be ashamed that they are survivors. They should be proud that they have fought and made it through and are still alive through all of the aftermaths that we suffer. And I say that because that is true, that we suffer to struggle ourselves through. The drug addiction and alcohol addiction alone, combined with the other abusive behaviors, is enormously disheartening. You know, I'm going to pull up some numbers from Rainn and show you what those are, because it is a scary fact of what this does and puts into your children and into our people.